this morning that Wubben Moy wasn't in the training session. Can you give us an update just as to why that was?
Yeah, she will be available tomorrow. It's match day +2 for us, and we look at every individual, what they need to be able to prepare the best way for the game tomorrow, but she'll be available tomorrow.
Just also wanted to ask if there's any updates this week on Williamson and a potential timescale for her return.
Yeah, so everything is going forward as expected, and the exact time frame is hard to share at the moment, but we expect her hope to have her back before the winter break.
Is there any update in terms of just when she might be back training, perhaps?
Yeah, let's see, but we expect somewhere in November, December that she might be back in full training. So let's see how that. It's a day-to-day, week-to-week thing.
This competition played such a huge story in terms of this club last season. Just how excited are you to get started and start defending it?
Yeah, very excited. But it all starts over again. So we start from scratch. We're very proud of what we did last year. And there was a lot going into that. But we all start over again. And everyone is constantly developing and teams change. And we're going to play against an extremely strong opponent tomorrow. They've made a lot of changes as well in their squad. New coach. So we're extremely humble. But we, of course, also look forward to this occasion tomorrow.
With that in mind, in terms of the new coach and new players, obviously the semi-final again was such a huge part of the story. How much are you able to draw on those two games in preparation for tomorrow?
Preparation is always looking at ourselves, where we are at, what we want to prepare, our own changes and our own squad, and then looking at the opposition, what they've been doing lately. But of course, it's only a couple of months ago we played against them, and they still have similar players. So that's something we definitely look at, but then also look at the most relevant games from ourselves and them.
Chloe Kelly, we saw her again in training. She's still got that strap on the knee. She's come off the bench the last couple of games. Is she ready to start yet, or are you really having to kind of manage her minutes at the moment?
No, I'm really happy. I think the performance and medical team have been doing such a great job. We have everyone available but Leah Williamson. And if you play at the highest level, there's always things you have to manage. I don't think there's any player in the squad walking around feeling all free from pain. It's you're always finding your physical edge. And yeah, sometimes you see players with strappings and players get treatment, or they do proactive training in their prehab. So everyone is dealing with things, and that's probably the one you see very clearly visualized.
In terms of Chloe, though, would you be confident that she could do a 90 minutes at the moment?
She's in a good place. She's 100% available to play tomorrow.
When you're going for a run like this, in terms of the form, do you like to have a quick turnaround and play quickly, or would you rather sort of have a week to train with the squad?
You can't always choose, so you have to be able to manage both scenarios. But I'm happy this game is coming soon again, because it makes you, you know that there's a short turnaround. You only have a couple of days, so you can only focus on what's absolute important right now. In the review of last game and the preview of the next and preparation for the next. So yeah, for me, I like working this way. So you have to really be on top of what's most important in the here and now.
With the results, I know it's very early this season, but why do you think it's not quite clicking just the last 3 games?
Well, it's about margins, and of course we've been talking about it internally. What details in our game model, in our football that we want to focus on, the things we want to develop, and we look forward and we look at how hard we can work to get the margins on our side. So both providing clarity on what we are going after, and then everyone putting in the work. And so that's from a football perspective, but also about how you manage a game. Because last Saturday we worked so hard to get the equalizer, so it was disappointing to then concede that third goal on the other side. So that's of course things we look at and really learn from.
Steph, a similar question to you. Just yourself and the players at the moment. How are you kind of feeling about the last 3 games and the start of the season? I know it's a small data sample, but yeah, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, obviously I don't think we've got the points from all the games that we've wanted to, but we've had some really positive patches of football, and it's just been down to lapses in concentration, some set pieces, some things that we've really talked about this week and after this game in particular. But, you know, the league's not won and lost this early on. It's a long season, and we just need to focus our intention on to the next game, and obviously Champions League's right here, right in front of our faces, and we're excited to be focused on this one.
I'd imagine that when you're going through a kind of a sticky patch, someone like Williamson would be very important for the group, very vocal. Is she able to kind of get involved in that at the moment when she's kind of doing her own rehab? How involved is she in the conversations with the group about trying to turn things around?
Yeah, absolutely. She is vital to our squad, whether she's on the pitch or she's not on it. She makes herself very busy around the group, even though she's obviously not on the pitch with us. She's having conversations with, you know, us as centre backs, with the whole group in terms of what we can do better. You know, she's the first to put in the group right before we play an inspirational message, and she's good to lean on, and she's making sure she's keeping busy and around the group, and she's very, very important for us regardless if she's on the field or not.
Personally for you, how much does defending this competition mean to kind of put Arsenal in the brackets of teams like Lyon and Barcelona who kind of, you know, won consecutive times in this competition?
Yeah, it's massive. I think, you know, we've got an incredible squad full of extremely talented players, and obviously we put it all together and were able to go all the way last year, but it was last year, and we're very proud of what we achieved. But it's a whole new ball game this season, new teams, new players, completely new system. So we've done what we've done, and we were obviously ecstatic to do that, but it's a clean slate now, and we've got to act like we're the champions, and people are coming after us to win it off us. So I think we don't change anything that we do, but I think teams change how they come up against us, and, you know, it's going to be, you know, their best effort 100% every single time, you know, we come into a game. So brand new challenge, and we can't wait to get started.
When you played games against Lyon like last season, where they're so emotionally draining and so action-packed, how hard is it to kind of separate those games now from the games tomorrow night?
Like Renee said, I think it's a brand new game. They've got, a new coach and some new signings. So, you know, we've looked at a few clips from last time we played them, but mostly it's been watching their most recent games, and it is a brand new challenge. But we have come up against a lot of their players in different situations, and I think they pose a unique threat where I think they're really, really good on the ball and possession based, but they've also got a lot of pace going in behind. So you sort of have to be ready for everything, and there was a lot of emotions tied to the last time we played against them, but a completely new challenge tomorrow. Thanks.
Tim. Yeah, hi Renee. Sometimes when I watch a game back, I get like a different angle on it, or I see something different. When I watched the City game back, I didn't. I think I saw the same game again. And, you know, I think all the data says that actually Arsenal got into good positions more than City did on Saturday, but they were definitely more efficient with those situations. And when it comes to preparing for a game like this, with the whole 24 hours you have to do it, I guess how do you approach a problem like that where it's kind of more execution based? Is that tactical? Is that positioning? Is that soft factor? How do you go about breaking something like that down?
Yeah, that's of course the headache, I think, for every coach, to approach those moments in the right way. And I think being so detailed about what we bring up in both team meetings, unit meetings, individual meetings, and we've decided that we want to go somewhere as a group, and we have a shared purpose, and that's what we want to focus on, that we go after that all together. But then to be able to do that, give clarity and in the details from a football perspective that we want to work on and do better. And I think the whole staff has been working extremely hard to bring those details to the table, and players the same. There's been a lot of good input from players as well, and that's how we've tried to attack it. And of course we're not happy with the last three results, but the only thing we can do is now look forward and keep on bringing energy and belief into the group to go into these next couple of games.
And can I ask as well about that kind of advanced midfield position behind the strike? You've had, I think, 4 different players there in the last 5 games. I think sometimes a coach maybe rotates attacking options because they've got lots of options, lots of variety, lots of depth. Sometimes maybe it's because you're still searching for the right kind of thing there. And I guess finding that balance between a player that supports the midfield and supports the attack all at the same time. How do you reflect on, trying to find the right formula there?
Yeah, of course, that's something we're very busy with as a staff. But I always want to relate back to the quality that we have in the squad. So we have the options to, from what we expect in a game, put players in certain positions. And that's what we really try to exploit with the quality that we have in the squad. And that's what we've been doing in that position, yeah.
And Steph, can I ask you about your kind of partnership with Reid this season? And I know she's been around the club for a long time, training with the club, so you probably know her well. But have you felt like in that partnership, the senior partner, as a relatively new centre-back yourself, like how do you reflect on that partnership with Katie this season?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously coming into centre-back next to Leah is a different situation to playing alongside Katie, who's obviously young and in her first real season of professional football. So yeah, in a way I've definitely felt like I've had to step up into that role a little bit more. I think I do it naturally as sort of one of my strengths. I'm a communicator and I like to lead, especially from a centre-back position. So I think, whoever's in there, I'm going to bring the same traits and do the same things. But obviously with Katie coming in to some big situations really early on in her career, I think I've definitely adopted that a little bit more, but she's such an assured player for her age. She's so confident on the ball. She's really intelligent as a footballer, so she reads runs well. She's learning to communicate a little bit more and back herself in that sense. But there's not too much I have to say to her or do any extra because she's doing it all naturally. And the way she's slotted in, it's just a credit to herself. She's played some incredible football over the last few games.
Thanks.
Okay.
Hi Renee. Over kind of the year you've been in charge, it has felt like the best performances Arsenal put in have come in the Champions League. Obviously you won it last year. Is there anything distinct about the competition of playing in Europe that seems to get the best out of your team?
You'll have to ask the players from I don't think so. I think in the way we prepare is everything is the same, whatever the competition or the opposition. So we always try to prepare on a very high level. But of course, it's big to get the opportunity to play in the Champions League. I think these players, when they were young, they were probably dreaming about, I don't know, over in Australia, if you were dreaming about playing Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's of course a very special occasion, and you know that you're going to be in the league every single year in the WSL, but you have to qualify for Champions League. So when you then make it into Champions League, it's a very special stage. It's the biggest stage in Europe, so it's special occasions. Yeah, definitely.
And Steph, just because we had coach said I should ask the players, just same
Yeah.
sort of question to you. Does the Champions League, you feel, bring out the best in your group?
Yeah, I think that, like Renee said, there's something very, very special about Champions League nights. And just going off what she said, coming from Australia, it is something even I was dreaming of all the way over there in Australia. It did feel like a very, very far away dream. But, being involved in that competition, I think for us as players, it is what we've dreamed about since we were kids. So being part of it, obviously being able to win it, but just being in it every year is special. And I think, you as professionals, every game is very, very important. But there is something amazing about the Champions League, and I think every footballer would probably have the same answer.
And Renee, just one more for you. Again, last season this felt like such a joyous team to be a part of, and I'm sure a lot of that was because it felt like you were winning pretty much every week. This season, we're obviously starting with a slightly difficult run. How have you been trying to keep spirits high when results haven't been so good?
Yeah, so it's easy to focus on everything you want to do different and you want to do better. So it's about finding the balance of these are the details that we want to focus on, where we will be demanding as players and staff, but also keep on looking at all the things that are going really well, to keep spirits high, keep energy high. I think if you look across both the squad and the group of staff, there's some really energetic people, so give them a good stage so they can bring what they bring when we need it, and that's all those small things that you look at.
Anyone in particular that's been energetic
Well,
at the moment?
yeah, there's a couple. From a staff perspective, it's definitely Aaron. I think the players would agree. Yeah.
Cheers.
Tom.
Hi, Renee. Thanks for speaking to us today. I wanted to ask you about your opposite number, Jonathan Heraldez, for this game. I think I'm right in thinking that you managed against one of his sides before, Barcelona versus Rosengard. Is there anything that you can take from those matches? Obviously, it's such a different dynamic between those two teams, but is there anything you can take from those matches into this game?
It was very different. We were 100% underdog when I coached against him with Rosengard. But yeah, I've seen it, I've felt it. The way he wants his teams to play, he drives intensity, and he wants his team to be really, really aggressive. So, and actually, I went on a visit to Barcelona, and so I spent 2-3 days with Jonah and seeing how they work. So that was a really good study visit. So it was more the conversations I had with Jonah there and then, and yeah, it was really, really nice to learn things and see how he thinks about football. So, but I don't think that game is very similar to the game that will be played tomorrow.
Steph, I just wanted to ask you about that game against Lyon. Like, obviously, it was a special moment for the fans and the players to come back and win that game where, you know, people were doubting Arsenal's ability to do so. Like, what are your memories of that match?
I think the thing I remember the most is just the way we executed exactly what we said we were going to, pretty much perfectly. I think there's sometimes as a footballer where you're on the field and you can just tell your team's in a flow and you can just tell everyone's switched on to that elite level of playing, and that was one of those days. And we had so much belief in what we were capable of and maybe hadn't produced that, or had produced it in moments in the home league and probably thought we deserved a little bit more. But everything we'd spoken about in the lead up to that game happened the way we thought it would, and we were ready for everything. And I think everyone that stepped onto the pitch brought a level of intensity that allowed us to do what we did. And then same again in the next game. Thanks.
Thanks, Tom. Any others from the floor? All done? We'll leave it there. Let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.